This is Off the Break Podcast, presented by Silver Screen Insider.
This is Off the Break Podcast, your podcast dedicated to current movie theater news, operations, and insights from the people that book the movies. I'm Kyle, and joining me as always is Cody and Ken.
All right, back to it.
We're back at it. Kyle tried to bring COVID into the office, so we had a last minute cancellation on our podcast last week.
In my defense, I was just playing it safe. I was only a close contact, but I did not get COVID.
He didn't.
Still going strong, 2 years.
Yes. And you know what the sad part is him and I were joking about how in like the couple of years none of us have gotten it, and nobody close to us has gotten it.
And then, literally the day of.
Yeah.
I get this bad news that I was a close contact, so it was, probably should stay away.
We jinxed ourselves.
Yeah.
So.
But we're back, and we're all healthy.
Thanks,
Yeah.
you two. Can't just, we got to talk about that every podcast, every single one?
Yep. Knock on wood. We're all good.
Yeah, we threw it out into the ether even more so.
Yeah.
All right, so let's make up for lost time, because there was a few changes that happened these past 2 weeks.
Oh yeah. So additions to the release schedule. We always like seeing additions.
What are those?
Well, we've got Father Stew from Sony coming in April. I know that it's not going to go super wide. It is rated R. It has Mark Wahlberg in it.
It's a rated R faith-based film starring Mark Wahlberg. Figure that one out.
A boxer who turns to the priesthood. So I'm not sure what to do with this one, to be honest with you. It doesn't usually play to our normal faith-based crowds with an R rating.
If you really like Mark Wahlberg, I think this is the movie for you.
Yes,
if you like,
that's a safe way to go.
If you like movies that have
redemption, maybe that might be the way to go.
A beginning, middle, and end that all is continuous and makes sense. This may not be for you.
Let's just narrow this down. Boston, are you listening?
Yeah.
April 15th. Okay, there we go.
And then we have Blazing Samurai from Paramount coming in July 22nd. Not sure what that is, but sounds exciting.
Does sound cool. It better not disappoint.
And then we have The Outfit from Focused, moved from February 25th of this year to March 18th.
So just a month back, but I take it as kind of on a limited release anyway, kind of an adult drama.
Yeah, I think that's pretty limited.
Right.
We didn't, I think, talk about this last week, but Downton Abbey moved from March 18th to May. Mm-hmm. I kind of feel like this was an okay move because there was a lot going on there in March.
It's a March movie.
But
it's a March, April movie.
It is not a May movie.
It's an Easter movie. It's a slow time.
Take your mom out to the theater during Easter
movie. Doctor Strange is going to be in theaters the next week.
Yeah.
No, isn't it before that? Or is it the same
let me
week?
check for you.
Oh, you're going to check on Silver Screen Insider?
Yeah. Pull up the release schedule, Kyle. And double check. But so I think there was a bit of build up the week it was on, but looking at it now, I just don't think the May move is smart at all for this film.
Doctor Strange is 2 weeks before Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
Oh, do they think Doctor Strange will really only do 2 weeks worth of business and then they can
drop
come
off,
in?
And then they can come in right before Jurassic Park.
My issue,
the week before
the week
Maverick
before.
Top Gun.
So we'll see how this goes, I guess.
I wonder if there's enough Downton Abbey people still that are interested in this. That's a concern I have, because when the first movie came out, the TV show had just ended, so there was this build up, but I don't know about that one. And then Everything Everywhere All at Once from A24 moved from March 25th to April 8th, so it moved back a little bit. No real thoughts on this one. I think they're going to have a hard time wherever they play. It looks pretty stylized and
probably a niche market.
Mm-hmm. And then Bros from Universal moved from August to September, whatever Bros is.
I think it's a comedy from the sidewalk commentating guy. What's his name?
Billy Eichner.
Billy Eichner. Thank you. I think it's from him.
When I see Bros, I just instantly think of Mario and Luigi.
Fair enough. So you're like, ooh.
I'm like, is this like the live action version that we've always wanted? No, I don't think
but
so.
I like
It's
that.
probably
I
not
like
that.
that weekend. The last weekend of September
Yeah.
before October has become like a different corridor for us the last few years.
It can be really good.
It has been very good the last.
Well, not this last year. Dear Evan Hansen did nothing the end of
No. The beginning, the very end of September into October, and this year it was 10/1 was Venom and Adam's
Right.
Family, and I know, but it's the week.
the
it's
week
the same week.
before,
It's the
this
day
year
before.
was Dear Evan
It's
Hansen.
literally
It did
the day
nothing
before.
for us, Ken.
It's the same corridor.
Okay,
It's
whatever.
close.
We have the
enough.
holiday corridor. We have the summer
I like
corridor. Now we
October.
have October.
Okay. So, what are my booking strategies after all this movement? Well, this weekend is going to be nice because we have two new films. We have Jackass and we have Moonfall. Separate films. We've seen them both on the early shows, so we're now going to talk about that in the podcast. But where I have a real issue is actually next week. It's Valentine's Day actually falls on a Monday, which really sucks. That doesn't open up anything for like date night. And we are getting a romantic comedy with Marry Me. And then we can have like the adult, like Murder Mystery, Death on the Nile, which would be two really good date night movies. But you're doing no business that weekend. We have a massive Super Bowl this year. I think this is going to be one of the most watched Super Bowls because it's just two teams that you were unlikely to see in it.
It's
Yeah.
I mean,
It's exciting.
A minimum of 75 million people are going to watch it.
Yeah.
So that takes 10% or 20% of the American viewing audience out of the theater.
Just offline. So,
if you want to go to the theater and get some time to yourself, Super Bowl Sunday is the time.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to quarantine and stay away, this is the perfect opportunity.
And that Sunday was the night that you maybe could have got a lot of date nights for Valentine's if people are trying to
squeeze one in before
Yeah, because who's going out on Monday night? And so hopefully you'll see a lot of bump the next Saturday night, like where people had Super Bowl parties, because everybody's going to have parties on the weekend.
Yeah.
And then, Monday they're all going to be hungover and calling in sick to work. So this theater should probably just be closed anyways
the
on
plan.
Monday.
So you think there will be a
Maybe
substantially
a little bump
smaller
on the
drop
18th.
than we would expect
I would hope so.
for those two?
Yeah, you're hoping.
I guess we have
but-
Blacklight too. So for those three, you think instead of seeing the standard 50 to 60%, we may see something smaller?
I would like that to be the case, but
Let's hear a hot take.
Who knows?
A blazing hot take.
A blazing hot take?
Yeah.
I don't know if I can go out on a limb on a blazing hot take like that. I've been burned before. My hot takes.
Let's cool it a bit let's wait for the right opportunity.
Just know that these February dates are getting weird. And then on the 11th, also everybody's trying to bring back film because the Oscar nominations come out on the 8th, February 8th.
Yeah, that's true.
And so everybody's trying to position right now like Licorice Pizza and American Underdog and
Belfast.
yeah, there's just all these bringbacks coming in the next couple weeks, and in conjunction with Academy Awards, and so you're trying to find space for some of those in there as well. So, but again, Super Bowl is going to suck the life out of everything that weekend. I don't think it really matters what you play, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, the people who don't want to watch the Super Bowl, they might trickle in and take advantage of no crowds, but it's not exactly what you'd want for Valentine's weekend. So
No.
Ideal is Valentine's on Saturday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So people go out Friday, they go out Saturday.
Or even Friday night. Like
the late people go out Saturday.
Yeah.
Or Sunday, excuse me. So there's 3 days of boom, boom, boom of constant traffic. Dinner and a movie. Monday is after the Super Bowl is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Nurse said hang over as much as you can and then go on your dates.
I mean, Valentine's. I'm gonna go out on a limb here. Valentine's is not a real holiday. It was made up. We can pick the day that it happens.
It doesn't have to be the 14th.
It's not the 4th of July, okay? It's not named for the date that it is.
No one signed anything to make the Valentine's Day decrees
The
happen.
second Saturday of every February, Valentine's Day.
Right.
I mean, doesn't it make sense? Give everybody the time off. You're home.
I might be with you on Valentine's Day. I'm not with you on Halloween. That just has to be October 31st.
Get out of town.
Because of the same logic you always try to apply to
The
Halloween.
last Saturday of October is Halloween. That's when this family celebrates it. Even if other people aren't, we still go door to door
End
asking
of
for
discussion.
candy. Like, what are you doing here? It's the 28th. This is when we celebrate Halloween, damn it.
Well, while Ken's not technically wrong, Valentine's is still going to be on the 14th this year, and it's not going to be...
not going to be good.
Yeah.
Let's just say it's not going to be like the year when 50 Shades of Grey opened and we had a huge, like, $50 million box office.
We had that. Deadpool was one of those.
Deadpool.
The first one was a big February movie.
That worked really well.
Yeah.
Good times.
We're not going to have that this year. That's okay, though. That's not that it's going to be bad. It's just not going to be great. But I'm still looking forward to all the films coming out.
We've got a runway here. We've got...
It's all just leading up to the Batmans.
Well, we've got 7 wide releases in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah.
So that's awesome.
I know.
We can't ask for any more than that.
I'm
in
so
February.
excited for the amount of product coming out, and it's all new. It's all, well, I mean, except for Marry Me, it's all theater exclusive for Window. It's awesome.
Week after week after week. Exactly what theaters were hoping for.
Yeah, and lots of counter programming, lots of different films. We just need a PG animated title somewhere.
I know.
Soon.
Come on. Hey.
Come on, Sonic.
Yeah, come on, Paramount. We want you to move up, Sonic. Like, you can do this. Capture all of those spring break weeks in March. Just capture them. Let us have Sonic in March.
I mean, they could find success with Scream and then Jackass. And then what's after that? Lost City? And then why not with Sonic? That'd be a perfect first quarter.
Oh, I know. We were watching.
It's foolproof.
And they have Top Gun to end the second quarter.
And the third and the fourth.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
love the Lost City trailer, by the way. I am so excited for that movie.
Oh my
Ken
God.
is like, no, but I think it looks hilarious and I like all the people in it. So I'm excited for that one.
It looks cute. I'll be rooting
Let's
for that
go into
one.
movies that we can actually talk about that we have seen this week. We've seen lots of movies.
Guys,
Yeah.
we've seen so many movies. So I think we should kick it off with 2 films coming out this weekend, Moonfall and Jackass. So Kyle, you went and saw Moonfall. How is
did.
it?
It's stupid,
Okay.
but I enjoyed myself.
Yes. Yar.
It was just the right movie that knew what it was, but it was able to sprinkle in a little bit of endearing moments. I mean, not like great stuff, but enough to where I'm like, all right, I'll follow this weirdo scientist to the moon and save the world from it falling out of the sky. Why not? And I just think mainly in my life, like I just needed to go to the theater, shut off my brain, and just focus on a movie rather than think about, oh man, I have to take care of this stuff and da-da-da. But
And you didn't want to stay home in your COVID quarantine any longer?
I was out of I'm out of the quarantine by then. I knew I needed to get out, so this just was perfect for me
Perfect
in the right
timing.
moment. Yeah, just was the experience I need of what movies should do. Shut off your brain and be able to just take in what you're seeing and enjoy yourself.
Perfect. Can I ask a question?
Yep.
Who is a more convincing astronaut? Ben Affleck from Armageddon or Halle Berry?
Halle Berry.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
I might have a new favorite asteroid / moon breaking apart, crashing into Earth movie favorite.
I think you'll like it. I think you'll like this one.
Well, Cody and I went and saw Jackass this afternoon.
Yeah.
Yes.
What'd you think about that one?
So I know on the last podcast we talked about how actually we were really excited to see Jackass.
Yeah.
It's something from when Ken and I were younger, and you knew exactly what you were getting with it, and how I just was kind of in the mood for this. And I thoroughly enjoyed every moment of it. I laughed so hard my throat hurt. Like,
Was it a blast from the past that you were hoping for?
So good. It was just like you described. I wanted to go to the theater and turn off my brain.
Yeah.
And just laugh. And
it trafficked in nostalgia.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
if you have any inkling to see this, it's worth seeing.
please know what you're getting yourself into. Don't be like, "What's Jackass?" And go.
I think
Please
people
do not do
know
that.
at this
Well,
point.
I think they do, but Cody was even taken aback by the gratuitous amounts of male nudity.
There-
Was there always this much streaking?
No, I remember
No, the camera lenses were clean when they filmed all of it.
all of it. And I was like, oh
No
yeah,
streaks.
back in the day it was a TV show, so you didn't see as much of the male member
Of it
as
all.
what they probably got on camera
Right.
because it was on TV and they had to censor things. This is a movie. They don't have to censor anything, and they don't at all. Very up close and personal. I don't obviously have one of those being a female. I just don't need to see another one for a while. Like, there was so many dick picture, like things in that movie. So just be aware. There was some younger kids in. I say kids. They were definitely kids. They were not teenagers.
Under 12 and under.
Yeah, maybe right at the
in the
12
theater,
mark.
Whippersnappers who snuck in.
No, they were with their dad.
With
With their
parents.
dad?
With the
Okay.
dad.
There were no moms
There
bringing
was
kids
not
in.
a mom. I was
was
the
Dad's
only
turn to-
mom in there, and I obviously didn't have my kids.
It was Dad's turn to watch the kids, and he got to do what he wanted.
It was obviously Dad's weekend.
Yeah.
And I was just,
No wedding ring on that finger.
no, I was just saying, be prepared, because that was a lot more male members than I was prepared to see. But it was still really funny, exactly what we wanted. It was nice to see a female, like, member of the group get.
Oh, was there? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
I wish I could have actually seen more of her stunts, because she was great, and they didn't have her in nearly as much as they could have. So, but that was really fun.
Yeah, they brought in some new blood for
Yeah.
the first time,
Younger
which will be
new people.
interesting to see what they do with this, because those people will obviously be cheaper
Yeah.
than the guys they have currently, and they'll be less likely to break bones or hips.
Yeah.
Less concussions.
They are definitely old. Look at Johnny Knoxville with gray hair and your white hair now. It's
Yeah.
like, you're old, man. This is probably the end of the road for these kind of things for you.
Yeah, when I saw the first trailer for it, I guess it was back last summer, I was taken aback. I mean, I didn't grow up with Jackass myself, but even I was like, oh, that is gray hair. The time has passed. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
He looks like a senator.
Yeah. So
Right.
it's funny because they were talking about it's been 20 years. And we're like, oh my gosh, we were teenagers when it came out. So we were like right at that like middle teen years where it was funny and on TV and
Immature,
yeah.
exactly at the right amount.
right at Mount.
Yeah.
And then they did their first movie 10 year, like one of the movies like 10 years later. Jackass 2 was maybe 10 years later. Anyways, and then you're like in your mid 20s, and then it's like, oh, that's really funny. Now we're in our mid 30s, and we still think it's funny, but they are definitely very much older.
The humor never dies.
It doesn't.
No.
What else did I think that it would be nice to see it with more people? Our showing didn't have a ton of people in it. It had maybe like
A dozen
people. In a full theater would have been awesome, because you would have gotten all the oohs and the like laughing, and that's the best part about going to the movies. And I kind of wish that we would have gone to a showing that was more sold out, just to experience it with everybody.
Mine was like that, but I didn't mind it. Only because I was the only one giggling in my theater, and I
Yeah.
feel like if there was a full house, it still would have been that way. So, but again, it was the right time where I needed it, and not a movie I'll necessarily look back on fondly, but one where I'm like, okay, I needed you in the moment, and you came in clutch. Thank
Yeah.
you for that.
It's the exact way I feel about Jackass. I'm never going to want to watch this again, and it would never be one I recommend. Like, that was actually a really good movie.
Yeah,
The cinematography.
yeah. If you really think about it, the fine line between good and evil is really fleshed out.
No, this is not that kind of movie.
Right.
It
As
was,
somebody
They are what
sits
they
on
are.
a toilet that explodes.
yeah.
All right, so there was a third movie, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I got a screener from Briarcliff of Studio 666
Ooh.
coming out on 2/25.
That one
Yeah.
seems odd.
Yeah, because it's got Foo Fighters and a horror movie.
Yeah.
It's
A pairing I never thought ever.
yeah.
And who would have?
So, Ken, how was this film?
So because it hasn't been released, I won't give out any spoilers. But if you really, really, really like the Foo Fighters, like have a Foo Fighters tattoo or
You
an
watched the
autograph next to
documentary
your
on it,
bed,
got sucked in that one time.
or Dave Grohl is your spirit animal, you will thoroughly enjoy this movie. As for the rest of us, it's a hard sell.
So where do you land
Is
on
it
that
a
side
little
of the camp?
gratuitous in its violence, or what's the hard sell part of it?
It's not good.
Is
There's
it
no redeeming quality.
is it scary? Is it funny? Does it mix the mark on like both of those things, you think?
Because Dave Grohl's a funny dude. Like, you hope that it's funny.
No. It's 2 hours that goes by,
And then it's the end.
and no, it never ends. It's the longest 2 hours of your life.
So that's the scary part.
Yeah. No, I think it's a big swing. I thought it was going to be more like a Scooby-Doo murder mystery with horror and Foo Fighters. And
the Foo Fighters saved the day because they're an awesome band.
And humor, but it missed, like Kyle said, it missed the mark. It's 90s comedy, and we've escalated past that. We have Judd Apatow now. We've lived through
Ken,
Jason Segel.
Ken, apparently you and I have not gotten past like 90s comedy.
Jackass would like a word with you.
That was 2000s.
Okay, you're right.
That was 2000s.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's still time for that to die.
Yeah.
I'm excited we have a release that's theatrical, but this one is
on a weekend where nothing else is coming out. It is
only
so that's
for
nice.
diehard Foo Fighters fans.
So wherever you're hiding, come on out.
There's plenty of them, but that's who it's for.
Or what about diehard just horror fans? Is it straight up horror film? More so than the like Scooby-Doo murder mystery thing you thought it was going to be?
I don't know how to categorize it, and I watched the entire thing.
Well,
there are horror elements.
I would say more horror than anything.
There are horror elements. There are humor elements. There are music elements.
So
there are
horror
celebrities.
comedy.
There are celebrities in it.
There are celebrities in Jackass too. It was funny.
But
well, way to have that buzzkill after our 2 great reviews.
I know.
120 minutes back.
I'm just thrumming after watching my fun, stupid film.
Yeah.
Fun, stupid?
It's fun, stupid. Yeah.
The perfect combination. Is Studio 666 like a wide release? Do we know yet?
It's going... I don't think they've officially set a print count, but it's going wider than you would expect.
Okay. I wonder if it would have benefited maybe from a smaller release, but I don't know.
Would have benefited from a new script and a new director.
And maybe less Foo Fighters? No, that can't be.
More Foo Fighters.
More Foo Fighters. Yeah.
Yeah. Was our favorite guitarist that just practices in it? Just practices and tries to do a really good job just so he can stick with the band?
Yeah, he did great.
Yeah.
All of the fighters of the Foo were in it.
Okay.
and
I just want to go out and say we are very proud that the Foo Fighters exist, because not once have I been disrespected or accosted by Foo.
Right.
So they have been fighting it appropriately. Keeping it out of my day-to-day life.
Okay, on that note, what's next? I don't know how to transition from that.
How comfortable were you at the theater today, Ken?
Well, other than the bad parenting, it was fine.
Yeah, that was a little uncomfortable. Let's
judgy.
Just say the projection quality and the overall atmosphere in the theater was a little uncomfortable. But did I feel like I was going to get COVID or that I was at risk? No, sirree.
Hey, that's good.
I'm feeling good going back to the theater. No, it's not our theater anymore. I know I keep saying that, and I keep torturing myself by going back, but we have no other options.
Yeah, the only one in town, and they're poo.
Yeah. But NATO recently learned that 71% of respondents on their survey are very or somewhat comfortable going to movie theaters.
It helped that Spider-Man brought in
a ton of people,
$600 million, and has brought so many people back to the theater.
And you don't hear like, "Oh, I got COVID at the theater." Nobody's saying that because you don't, because it's safe, because everybody faces one direction, and you don't talk to people, and you don't like munch at people.
Shouldn't be talking to people.
Yeah, and they upgraded ventilation systems in most theaters, and it's super safe. So go NATO.
Is this going to
keep for letting us know things we already knew?
They say it's 71%, but I can't imagine it gets much higher than that. Like even on 2019, like even when Avengers opened. I can't imagine there were more than 71% of people that are like, I'm going to the theater.
So we'll never get to that 100%.
No, because there's always still, from like a female perspective, like I don't like to go to the movie theater alone, and especially on a late night. You're never going to be 100% comfortable going to places like that.
Sure.
So I think 71, great, and I don't think anybody's worried about COVID anymore. So I think NATO can, spend their money on other things now.
Yeah,
I think we're good.
I think
quit perpetuating this, NATO.
Yeah, I think it's just that people think like audiences aren't comfortable because other movies don't do quite as well as like Spider-Man did, but really it's just because of the market. Like the market is just that people want to go to the theater first and foremost for the next superhero movie, but with the other types of movies, like the adult dramas or the comedies and the musicals, not so much. For some reason, they just decide that they want to keep their money and wait until the next superhero movie.
Yeah, I think all COVID did was increase streaming, which just increased pressure on these other titles. Like, it made the other titles like not be event films like they used to be.
Right.
People can stay home. They just don't see the value in spending their media dollars on them. And it just seems to be certain types of films. And unfortunately, superheroes are still event pictures. And that event feel of movies is what drives people back to the movie theater, unless it's got great word of mouth, and then it can grow.
I mean, it's not unfortunately. I mean, we've got a plethora of superheroes to draw from. At least it's not movies about like garbage men that are making $200 million weekends. Like, there's only so many stories a garbage man can tell.
Right.
I mean, there's 1,000 in the pipeline coming out, and we've got a dozen this year.
Yeah, I mean, in part of NATO's information as well, they said that in January, with the releases of 355, Scream, and Redeeming Love, the box office was on pace for its worst month, but I think they'll be able to kick back up with the likes of Uncharted and The Batman. I mean, that's going to be in the span
February?
of 2 weeks. Yeah. I mean, February and then into March will be able to be helpful.
January's always bad.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true too.
I just hate how they're like, oh, we're down in January. Is this a sign that COVID is still hurting the industry? No, you put out crappy movies in January. And
we only had
nobody has money. They spend it all at Christmas. This happens every single year.
They only put out 2 wide releases.
Yeah.
355 and Scream, that's it.
Redeeming Love wasn't even that wide.
It doesn't count.
It does not count.
Well, if you don't make more than $4 million at the box office opening weekend, you don't get to count.
Right.
Yeah, no kidding. And even Scream was fine. I mean,
30 million opening.
Yeah, it didn't do gangbusters, but
that is gangbusters
for January.
Exactly.
For January in a horror movie, that's like
for
escape
coming back from where we were
like
before.
Escape Room 1 numbers.
Yeah.
I mean, that's great.
Yeah,
they greenlit another sequel.
And
they liked it.
You know what? Spider-Man still held us through January. I mean, it's not like we were so down overall. I mean, people still came, and I think that that's what's important. It's not like venue shuttered because, oh my gosh, there's just nobody coming. No, they were coming. It just, you put out crappy movies and then you act like the world's falling apart because nobody's showing up.
It's just, we just have to make an adjustment at this point to how many people are going to show up for movies that aren't superhero related.
Right.
It's just thanks to the pandemic and the growth of streaming. It's like you're saying, Cody, audiences are just more particular. They're more mindful of where they're spending their entertainment dollars. And the first and foremost is going to be for the superhero stuff. And then everything else, it's just going to be pick and choose, or it's just going to be certain demographics who are wanting to go out and spend a night out watching anything else.
I don't think that overall too many demographics are worried about COVID at this point. I think the audience is ready to move on, and they always point to that upscale older demographic as still being hesitant. I just think they don't want to deal with people, to be honest with you. They've been shut-ins. They don't want to deal with people. They say it's COVID, but I don't think
we're all secretly introverts.
Yeah. I think they're just done, and they've figured out streaming. It's been 2 years now. They've figured out streaming, and I just don't know if we'll get them back. And this is the kind of the little secret that nobody wants to talk about. I don't know if you want that older demographic back because they don't buy concessions. And
they're cheap.
The dirty truth about it all is that they want cheap senior discount tickets, and they don't buy concessions. So why are we worried about these people? Yeah, it was solid numbers through the door, but you're only saving maybe half that ticket price, and they're not buying concessions. So what are you really getting out of that?
Yeah, that's a fair point.
And that's something we have to really look at. Like, what are the types of films doing? What does it mean for your bottom line concession wise? And is it the end of the world if you just cater to families and teenagers who actually support the other aspects of your business?
The attendance changed, but the movies that worked have not changed.
Yeah.
PG animated, PG-13 superhero movies, franchise horror films.
Yeah.
Always work. Will always work.
Yeah.
Have always worked.
Right.
And that's what is working now, and we just need to stick to that. That's what puts butts in seats.
Yeah, I do hope audience behavior can change to where we can bring back more comedies, or
I would love to have more comedies work again.
I think that would be something that I would definitely want back for the movie theater, and to have better movie theater experiences with those. But yeah, it's just those big three right now that Ken is saying, and we're just gonna have to see how things progress.
But you know what it's gonna mean is down the road, and we've said this for the last few years, with COVID only increased what streaming was already doing. These studios and production companies are filtering out content. I just saw a sizzle reel for Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
And it was the most depressing thing I've ever seen, because some of those movies actually look good. And I was like, what? These are Netflix films. These will never see the light of day in a theater, barely, except for a few locations. And I'm like, and it had big talent. You had, not only do we have like The Rock, but we have like the Enola Holmes too, and
yeah, what else? Who else was in there? I mean, there was probably like Ryan Gosling.
Ryan
Gosling
was
there was probably
in
Daniel
it.
Craig. I'm thinking about the sizzle reel too off the top of my
too.
head. Oh, geez, I'm still mad about Knives Out too.
Yeah.
That one hurts. Only being on streaming now rather than theatrical.
When it was clearly only decent because it had great word of mouth because it played in the theaters.
Yeah, people kept coming back.
So, I mean, there's just, that's sad. And that's what you're going to see. You're going to see content being created now for streaming, and content being created for theaters, and theaters are just not going to get as much content. And so I think, you're going to be fine getting through this year, and maybe part of next year are going to be okay for content, but moving forward, you're going to get less and less titles. And so you're going to have these wider gaps between each of these really good films. What are you as a theater going to do to fill butts and seats in that time? How are you going to diversify your offerings in the theater in between the movies? And that's where theaters are going to live and die. The ones that can adapt and diversify and bring in people in between those periods, they'll be okay. But if you can't, that's going to be, and you're relying only on films and only on films to market, then I think that's where you're going to be SOL moving forward.
Yeah, it'll be tough for sure.
So NATO needs to do a study on that. How to diversify the offerings, like come up with some solutions.
Not a bad idea.
It felt like it was silly to have this like this comfortability study after Spider-Man made like $1 billion.
Obviously there were
a lot of comfortable people
30 million people that were comfortable going to see Spider-Man.
I'm pretty sure people
10 million tickets or something sold
at $60 million or $600 million at $10 tickets.
Yeah.
60 million people were comfortable going to the theater.
I'm sure even if people caught COVID, they went back anyway.
Right.
That's how nuts some people are. So
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I think that wraps up this episode.
Yeah, we kind of flew through it. Anything else we want to add to our reviews?
Do we want to talk about these movies?
I know. I'm just so excited.
Oh my!
I want to go to another movie. That's how exciting like movies are for me. When I finally do go out and I really enjoy it, I want to see another one.
Yeah, that's the power of movies.
3 to go to next week.
I know. Which is the one you're looking most forward to?
Blacklight. Liam Neeson.
I was going to say Blacklight too. I want to see Liam Neeson shoot people.
Liam Neeson be tall and shoot people.
I just do not believe that Jennifer Lopez and Owen Wilson are a love match. So
but that's the point. They're opposites, complete opposites, but they find a way.
It's yucky.
I also don't believe that anyone would kill Gal Gadot. She's too pretty.
Yeah.
Like, even the killer would be like, I can't. I mean,
what am I going to do? Put a knife in the Mona Lisa? No.
Right.
I'm a murderer, but I'm not a monster.
Out of my mind here. All right. Well, big grosses, everybody, this weekend. Got Jackass and Moonfall. Send us out, Kyle.
The heroes we never knew we needed.
Oh my gosh, I enjoy that so much.
Thank you, everyone, for listening to the Off the Break podcast. You can find us on all podcast platforms, and be sure to like and follow our Facebook and Instagram pages at Off the Break Podcast.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.